Howdy folks, Grandpa Greenwald, old man with a pan. It's finally time to make some boudin. We have almost 30 pounds of pork shoulder here. I need to remove the bones from that and get that cut up. We have about 3 pounds of chicken livers that we're going to add later on in the process. I thought I'd have my big wagger ready to go to boil this pork down, but that's not quite ready yet. So today I'm going to cook the pork shoulder in this big roaster. So I'll get this cut up, get it in the pot, and we'll jump right back in here. Okay, let's learn how to make some boudin here. Or maybe not learn how to make, let's make some boudin. So the first step in making boudin is to cook your meat. Boudin, as you know, is a completely cooked Cajun sausage. Anyway, this is the first step. We'll get this cooking tonight, and then we'll let it set and cool the broth so I can pull some of the fat off the broth. We have the pork in the pan. I had the pan up to 350 degrees. I'm going to turn that up a little bit more. And I'm going to add this looks like there's a lot of water in there, but it's actually not. That's just a lot of pork, and we need to get some water so we can take some serious broth out of this. So we have to have enough for the fat to kind of cook out and become part of the broth, and then we'll be able to pull that off. But that's it. We're going to cook this for, well, we're going to get it up to a rolling boil or a simmer, and probably cook it about 1.5 hours or so. We're on a hog, making boudin. Another thing that I do is, as this is cooking, it releases these proteins to the top of the pot. So I go through and try to dip some of that stuff out. It's not necessarily the best tasting, or nothing wrong with it, but I try to take some of that extra protein out of the pot. I think we'll just give it another 30 minutes or so. Put the chicken livers in, and we'll be good. It's plenty good enough to grind right now. Good morning, folks. Well, we drained the broth over. I drained the broth off of this pork last night. Put the broth in the fridge. I have most of the broth off of it. Put the broth in the fridge and let it set up, and we'll pull that out later. But the next step to making our boudin, step number 2, is go ahead and grind this sausage. We have our big pieces of chicken livers in there. We're going to grind all of this together. So what I did with the grinder plate, I put our little small grinder plate, thinking the pork is cooked. It ought to slide right through, be nice and soft to be able to go through that grinder. So we'll see how that works out for us. All right, small grinder plate right out of the fridge. Everything's ready to go. We got power. Let's go ahead and see if this will grind through this small plate. Making boudin, grinding the pork. Alrighty, have the pork ground, the pork and the chicken livers ground. It's a little bit sticky. It was, you know, it came out, there was a little bit of moisture in the bottom of the, hadn't drained the pan completely. So this is the other things. This was 17 pounds total, if I didn't say that. This is another 2 pounds, 6 ounces of broth, but this is unfiltered broth. This has got any piece of grease or floating or fat or whatever was in the bottom of the pan with that little bit of broth is in this cup. It's just a little over, what is that, 32 ounces. All right, time to start mixing some other things in it. We're going to add some rice. We're going to add some broth. The broth that I pulled this morning, looks really good. It just sat there. It's just like Jello right now. We'll add that back in. So let's go ahead and get started. I have some rice here. It's steaming, just finished cooking. So I'm gonna add us a bunch of rice. Not quite all of it in there, but actually let's go ahead and put it all. Let's put it all. So I have 3 cups of rice. The recipe calls for one pound of rice. Whatever that means, I have three cups of rice. So that's gonna go in there. If we need more rice, we'll add more rice. I'm gonna just start turning that into the meat a little bit. So we'll end up with our boudin and our rice all mixed up together. Okay. Let's go ahead and add some goopy stuff down in there. And that is really a thick, but this was out of the bottom of the pan. This has got all of the goodness in it. We had pulled the others. You see how it didn't rise to the top to be scraped off. That's all the goodness from cooking that pork is down in there. So today we're using Excalibur Boudin seasoning. I found that this is the finest I can do. It's a really fine Boudin seasoning. Great flavor, great spice. Got some serious tang to it. I'm gonna leave just a little in the bottom of the bag so I can see what's happened later on. So it floats around in the air. It's a really fine grind. So it's floating in the air, and it has a habit of just trying to jump up in your nose. So let's go ahead and add the rest of this good clean broth, and we'll see where that takes us, and we'll get some other broth out. All right, we have our jars that we put up last night. The fat has all floated to the top. I'm gonna open one of these up and see if I can skim some of that fat. Let's see what we got here. See if we can skim that fat off of there. Wow. Might as well dump it right into the trash there. So that's the way to do it. You chill it, you pull off that big wad of fat. Now we have good clean broth in there. So I'll add that in and we'll mix that. That's going to help with our seasoning. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that boudin. We got us some boudin now, folks. We our rice and our broth. We had initially put 32 ounces of the gel broth. I put another like 12 ounces there. And a little bit more. And we'll mix this up and we'll get nice and moist. This texture needs to be smooth. It just, you see how I'm moving it. It's smooth, it's soft. We lost our rice down in there somewhere, but that's okay. We have plenty of rice. And anyway, so this is it. This is our boudin. It's prepared. I'm going to get the sausage press up and running, and we'll put this in some casings and put it away. We don't have our tube casings today, so we have individual casings, and this is a nice shorty, so we're just going to have to just crank them out. Well, that wasn't real good because the first one busted right off the top. All right, let's see what we do with this one now. Don't need any mess with it to continue to break and stuff. We just need to push out our boudin. See, and that's a short casing. We're done already. So we tie that one up, and we're done. So we'll take them and we'll make our boudin sticks, or our boudin links. Boy, those are big old fat boudin links there. What I did with these casings, 30 to 60 minutes in just warm water. You don't want you don't want to boil water on the stove and put them in hot water, because it makes them, it softens them like too soft. Too soft. They break easy. It damages appears to damage the casing a little bit. So you put them in a good warm water and let them sit for 30 minutes, and they'll be fine. You just don't say, well, hotter is necessarily better. They need a good warm water, but that's it. I'm going to wrap these babies up in this towel and let them stay in the fridge overnight, and they'll gel up. The broth that we put in there, the meat, the rice, all of that's just going to gel together, and it'll make it really easy to package. Real easy to package tomorrow. But fitting them in the fridge is going to be another challenge, because don't have a lot of room in the fridge. So let's see if I can get these stacked up real nice. But we have some really big, fatty boudin. Doesn't get a whole lot better than this, especially in Lubbock, Texas. This is some really, really, really good boudin. So I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit out to some of my friends around town, and I'm gonna really, really, really enjoy this. Anyway, thanks for coming by, folks. It was been putting off this, not putting it off, but trying to get around to doing this boudin. It's a long process when you have to cook your meats and drain the broth and chill the broth and those type of things. It takes a while. So I started last night, and here it is like 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and I'm putting it away now. So I'm really tickled to death about that. We're done. We got the boudin. Now just chilling it and getting it in package. Again, thanks for coming by. We'll see you again soon.